Hi, I'm Zach Zahikian, and welcome to California. I've been an artist most of my life. I started when I was 4 years of age, and I was born into an artist family. My dad was an artist. I've been consistently selling my work since 1962, and I have had a wonderful, wonderful life being an artist, creating and simply doing what I love to do, as all of you who are viewing this. I'm listed in most of the who's who's in the world. I have gallery shows, I have museums that own my work, but it's coming out to here, coming out to this beautiful field, this mountain range, whether I'm sitting here or by a creek and painting. And when I finish painting my paintings, which also you do too, we have something that is now tangible. So what do we do with this tangible piece of work? Well, we can keep it, or we can let somebody else enjoy it. And we can then also have the fruits of selling the work. So it's important that the issue of marketing surfaces. And this is what we'll be talking about in my workshops. I have 4 videotapes that I have created in the library, and we will be covering each one in depth. We will have tips and marketing. I'm having guest speakers in each of the tapes. Right now, I'll share some footage with you from the first session that covers general information, marketing, and licensing. This is Alan Thurston, and he has had businesses in the printing world. He is an artist in his own right.
The original artwork is where you start. Then you do need to get a transparency so it can be scanned. But to get the transparency, you need to have it photographed. And so you have to have a good photograph. Once you've got the art, and once you've done your artwork, and you've taken a picture of it, and you've got your transparency, and you've scanned it in your computer, then where do you go? Now that's the kind of the fun part that I like, because, well, we can do some mouse pads.
What size transparency?
Usually they go 4 by 5, because if you use a 35 millimeter.
And what I did was I hired a spiffy person to run the booth, and then I ran around and said, like Alan just said, see my products? I'm upstairs in the Esplanade. Here's a sample for you, here's a sample for you, and bingo. And I got the buyers, because what you can do is get reps that also already sell all your products. Say you are already in manufacturing, well, the reps have booths there, and the buyers come to the reps. So that's who you want to get to. The second session deals with printing techniques such as giclée. We'll also have an art critic that will talk about museum and gallery information and what it is to write a bio. These are giclées. This is my original made into a giclée, which is on watercolor paper. What's wonderful, this original was watercolor. And it was, I think, about 2.5 by 2.5 square inches. So he blew it up, and I didn't lose any of the quality, and the colors are just as brilliant as my original. I don't intend to sell my original. I want it. I like it. And I can now make a duplicate. And it has the feeling of watercolor because it's on watercolor paper. So I'm going to just pass that around. He also brought samples. So, Bud DeRacio.
Let me continue on, but after we scan it and we get the file set and we archive it on a CD, we can change the size to any size you like without having to rescan. And from there, it would be a matter of picking the size that you like, and then I'm sending it to a RIP station, which basically is like a digital puzzle. It puts together the information, the digital image, and then sends it to the printer, and it's printed directly on it. This isn't a transfer. This is a giclée. It's printed directly onto the canvas.
But you need to have some form of business plan, whether it's casual or not. You need to commit to it, and it needs to involve either saying, I do this work for my own self-pleasure, or I do this work because I'm trying to find at least one other person who will share in that pleasure. Hopefully you find 20,000 other people who share in that pleasure, but the only way that's going to happen is if you get outside the dots of your own artistic life. That means you have to have a resume. You probably need a curriculum vitae. You need to have an artist's statement.
In session 3, we will deal with framing, which is a really important part of your artistic career. We will deal with the internet. We will deal with eBay and e-commerce.
The presentation of your work is crucial to you. And that doesn't mean just when it gets to the gallery. That means when you're presenting it to gallery owners. Whenever you take your art out and represent it in the world, you have to present it in a way that makes it professional and makes people want it. And part of that's framing, obviously. I don't think, sometimes people get the impression from me that everything has to be elaborate like this. Zach and I have worked on several different kinds of designs, all the way up from this fancy fabric-covered, gold-leafed frame down to the simplest design we could come up with, simple black frame, simple white mat with a black core in it to enhance the piece.
There's something called meta tags, where you create this actually hidden words within each of your pages, and I've done that for Zach, where you have keywords like your last name. His keywords are neo-folk, cats, Chagall, Russian. We do keywords like that, so if somebody's searching for Russian art, his name is going to pop up.
In session 4, we will deal with pottery, art show marketing, and well-being, the well-being of you.
So with art, you know, you're going to be adding to that, and people will come and rebuy from the same artist, you know. I mean, people go to shows going, hey, is that artist here, you know, because they want to come back and see that artist. Okay, on that note, I would definitely, if you're going to do shows or any kind of art, if you ever get addresses from customers that you sell to, make a mailing list, okay? Send it to them. My mailing list, I try to do as many shows as I know about. This is kind of a little excessive from April to December. That's kind of a little long of a time, because by the time it gets to the December shows, they might not have your list anymore.
It's wonderfully cost effective. My doctor doesn't like me very well because I haven't seen him in probably 7 years now. And it's a great thing to be able to do to maintain your own well-being so that you can get the most, so that you have the energy that you need to produce the kind of art that you want, to have the kind of quality life that you want, and to be able to give to the degree that you want to give in life.
There were people who were licensing. They were walking around saying, whoa, see, I've got this goddess organization in Keokuk, Iowa, and we have a sort of like, we do things, and we want to license this. Well, I'll license this image, you know, for your wand box. See, because they have wands, and they sell these wands, and when you get touched, you see you're blessed by the goddess. And so I said, I want 10 cents for every box you produce. So that's a license.
Well, thanks so much for being part of this, and I look forward to seeing you on the remaining 4 tapes. And there I hope to impart a little bit more information. I want you to prosper in whatever you do. I want you to be able to approach the art of marketing as the way you approach the art of your art. We mentioned that it was selling your art and not your soul. Well, you put your soul into everything you do. And so putting your soul into your marketing will complete the full cycle. And not only will you be successful through your art, but you'll also be successful from a marketing standpoint. And hopefully all your dreams will be fulfilled, whether it be financial, spiritual, emotional. So please, all of you, go forth and prosper. Thank you very much.